Step into my circle with the opposite of Urkel. When I pull up flying purple, people eaters couldn't bite me. I sealed the fate of Herschel. And I just leave them on the limb and hand them my business. As rappers are walking that I already killed them. Skin blanco, lyrical weapon kicking like a bronco. Head honcho, spherical presence came from the grotto. A dead rapper, rap his body in a poncho. And crack his melon with a combo like Pronto.
Hey, this is Burial Delta live from the Hustle's Corner, New York City. In this part 5 of our final session with Thomas Freeme, we talk about hypocrisy, denial, and the dangers of dealing with judgmental people, just how dangerous that can be. So with that said, I just want to say thank you once again for joining us. And as always, smash that like button, share, don't forget to leave a comment, and most of all, subscribe. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
You know, you could talk to these, you could talk to your family, your friends about the truth. I always see inside, I always feel inside that people are going to judge you no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to judge you, and there's always that type of trust. You could talk on the knowledge or the education of these people, of your your family, your friends, but there's always that judgment.
Judgment was given to us by God, right? Mm-hmm. See, we have to understand these things. Ego, selfishness was given to us by God. Everything, emotions, feelings, everything was given to us to help us be better and understand life in a physical manner, to help us understand how to get closer to God. We utilize these tools that God gave us in a malicious manner. Ego and selfishness is a positive thing for us if we use it to be so. And that is because without ego and without selfishness, we would never know or understand that we have to learn, right? We have to gather. We have to do things for self. That is what the ego and the selfishness is. But it's not to be overabundantly used, right? It's to be used very, very carefully. And that's to enhance our spirit. That's what it's for, to bring things to us. That is what selfishness is. But I want to be selfish in love. I want to be selfish in good, positive things, not negative things. So when it comes to judgment, we understand God gave us judgment to understand and to judge what's in front of us for our safety, our survival. That's all judgment is. I'm judging you if you're a danger to me or not. So now that expounds into I'm judging you whether you're good for my education or not. And when we start using this tool again overabundantly, now I'm judging you for everything, you see? And again, it comes to self. We have to stop and say, I have no reason to judge this about this person because there's no evidence there. I'm just assuming, because we assume when we don't know. If we don't know something, we have to assume. And because I'm just so lazy and ignorant and I don't want to educate myself, I have no knowledge, so I have to assume so many things. Mm-hmm. So now when I look at you, Jeanette, and I see this black person, right? And whatever else my mind picks up from looking at you, and I'm assuming all of these things about you. I've already turned myself off from you, and you haven't even spoken a word yet, because my judgment is so out of whack, and I'm so out of control of my judgment. We have to be in control of everything that we do. We are the control. These are the things, these are the lessons that we have to learn is control, self-control over everything. I create my environment. My environment does not create me. Therefore, I make the choices that I want to create my environment. So therefore, I have to make sure that I'm not using emotions to create my environment, but I'm using thought, you see? So my first emotion is here's Jeanette, and I have this perception of her. Then thought has to come in. I can't act on that emotion. Thought has to come in and say, well, I'm judging her based on nothing. I don't even know anything about her, So let me take that judgment and put it back, and let me talk to her and see if my assumptions are correct. Let me give her a chance to speak and see if I'm just saying that she is this way or whatever. So it's understanding our judgments are ignorant for the most part. and to give this person that's in front of us just a chance. It's one of the reasons why I like my podcast audio versus video, because when I have my guests on there, these are very personal issues that they talk about. And I don't want somebody to see my guest and automatically have a judgment of this person without hearing them first.
They're going to do that anyway. They're going to do that anyway.
But they are. But the thing of it is, P, is with an audio, you have to listen to that person for at least 30 or 45 seconds. You have at least 30 or 45 seconds of good unfilteredness before this person passes judgment on you. Video, you don't even have that. And I'm guilty of that as well. You know how many videos I pass on YouTube just because I don't like how the person looks? I won't even listen to them. And I'm missing information. So we do this all the time without even realizing that we do it. We just see something, whether it's a book or a movie or whatever it is. And there's just something about that don't attract us. And we never even give it a shot.
I can't say that I'm a very judgmental person, because if there's one thing I can't stand, it's probably the number one thing I can't stand, is judgmental people. I've met too many of them throughout my life who take one look at me. And the thing is how dangerous that gets is that I can't tell you how many times I've met people, black and white, who've taken a look at me for the very first time they've ever laid eyes on me and come right at me with this hate and this vitriol. Just zero right in and come right at me. Jeanette, you can attest to this. And, and I've never even met them before. And they stand ready to, I'll never forget one time I worked for Uber Eats at night. I'm delivering that. This is how I raised the money to build the Hustler's Corner network. And I made this delivery to this one guy. It was over in the city, 57th Street. And I went into this lobby and I said, I'm here to make a delivery, such and such. I showed him my phone, this person's name. And I said, it's paid for. He said, let me see, what is it? Let me see what you got. I showed the phone. Right here, dude. Let's go in here. And he said, yeah, all right, go ahead. And he's looking at me like he's crazy. So I went and make the delivery, and I come back downstairs, and I look at him and say, thank you. And he flashes his gun at me as I go by.
And for what reason? So he judged you wrong.
Yeah. That's how dangerous the judgment becomes.
Unchecked.
If he made one wrong, yeah, he was a white guy. Now, I'm not going to say that happened to me either. On the flip coin, Jeanette, like I told you this before, I was on my way to work, and I was in this. I go to the city, and I usually stop off this station, the Fulton Street station, and I'll wait there at the station, turn on my phone, turn on my Uber app, and wait for some work to come in. Beep beep, the phone goes off. I take the job. I get ready to walk out of the station with my bike, and this young brother comes my way, and we cross each other's paths, and we and we cut each other off. And the guy's trying to move. I'm trying to move around. He's like, "Get out of my way, man!" He's like, and starts going crazy and grabs my bike and tries to say, "Hey, what's the matter with you?"
Yeah.
The guy gets up in my face. You want to do something? You want to do something? You want to do something? And I said, go ahead, old man. You want to do something? I'm like, look at this guy. What the hell's wrong? I said, dude, I was trying to tell you, dude, go ahead. He whips out a knife on me. What's the difference between the guy that flashed his heat on me and the kid to pull out a knife on me? There is no difference. This is what I see. There's no difference there. All I see is people, but it all comes from the same well, the well of judging others. That's how much. So you're going to have people that judge others like that or judge you like that because they don't want, that's how much they do not want to face the truth about themselves. They're that scared. Behind that animosity, that hatred, that vitriol is self-loathing and fear. I've seen it over and over and over again. They are petrified of not only what they think of themselves, but what the world thinks of them.
That's what we have to change.
Yeah.
We have to change that, P.
Yeah.
We have that's one of the public perception is one of the biggest detriments because like you said earlier, I'm scared to come out, not me, but generally speaking, I'm scared to come out and say something that may be wrong with me. I may want to come out and express that I'm a racist, right? But I'm scared to because of public opinion, of public backlash, right? And it happens time and time again. I'm scared now. I have to censor my own self as much as possible because I know that I could have 80 people camped out on my front lawn with picket signs, calling me a racist or a bigot or whatever, and not even understanding who I am because they want a little bit of attention themselves or they want a little bit of publicity. It's crazy because that is what drives deviancy. It's what we don't understand. If I'm not able to express, I have to vent some kind of way. Whatever's going on inside of my head, it has to be vented in some fashion. So if I'm not able to express, then I'm going to vent either violently, sexually, gambling, however, it's going to come out of me in a deviant way, because we don't like secrets. As human beings, we're communal people. We're not secretive people. So to keep secrets, it drives us insane. Secrets and lies drives us physically insane. And we can release all of that just by if somebody comes to me and they tell me, listen, like I'm a cross dresser and I have a crush on you. My first instinct is of course is going to be, whoa, it's going to hit me emotionally. I'm going to be like, whoa. But I have to understand that, okay, this is a person that's expressing to me. As weird as I think it is, as weird as society tells me it is, I have to understand that this is a human being and this is a person. And I have to educate this person that, listen, I'm not that way. This is why I'm not that way. And you need to understand that, or we can no longer associate. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's just controlling our emotions. Judgment is an emotion. It's the bottom line. Judgment is an emotion that we have to control. We have to maintain and we have to use appropriate.
The problem with that I see that people do all the time is that they try, they may live a certain lifestyle. They may follow a certain religion. They may live their life in a particular way. They try to impose that on you. They try to force themselves on you. That's what I have the problem with. I can't tell you how many times I've met guys on Facebook, sending me an ad request. And, I'm scratching my head. I don't know who this guy is. So I accept the ad request. And the next thing you know, the guy's messaging me on Facebook, "Oh, Perry, you look so gorgeous."
Yeah, I get those too.
And they start asking me these crazy questions. So, from where do you live in New York? You live in Brooklyn? What part of Brooklyn? Like,
where are you from? And all that crap.
Bro, seriously, I'm sorry, man. I don't swing like that, but rather than try to explain to them that I don't swing like that, I'll be like, I just block him, man. I'll be like, look, because he's forcing himself on me by asking me those ridiculous questions. I can't stand those kind of questions, and I don't like them when they come out of the ghetto either. I can't stand the one. I can't stand the is that your girlfriend? Did you have sex with her? Do you masturbate? Stupid questions like that. And the one that I can't stand most of all, how much money do you make? I hate that question. I hate that question as much as a bodybuilder who gets the same dumb question thrown at him all the time. How much do you bench?
How much can you squat? How much do you bench? How long do you work out for? All of these things,
All you're doing is showing your ignorance when you come at me with those things. That's all you're doing. You're showing me that
you're showing insecurity. Though that's all insecurity. All of those actions are insecure actions.
Very insecure. And the thing is, but again, it outlines or it shows that there is something, like you say, insecure. It shows something more about you than it ever would about me. It shows that it's like you're hiding something. It's like there's something about you don't want people to see. So you go around this pretending like the guy I told you about that I delivered to in New York City, and the guy's job was to just sit there and make the company look good. That was his job. I can't tell you how many people I've met like that who live their lives like that. I see channels on YouTube of, people that live in neighborhoods, in very affluent neighborhoods that live there. So just so they can say, oh, I live next door to Will Smith. That's my neighbor over there. Bill Gates, he's my neighbor over there.
And they'll drive themselves into debt doing that.
Yeah. And they got to be scam artists.
Scam artists.
Yeah. And this is the real American dream. You know what I mean? That's the real American dream. And it just gets me when I see this all the time. So as far as you saying, how do you respond to it? When I see a person coming at me like that, I immediately whip out my smartphone and I'm getting ready to record them. Right? I can't tell you how many times I get people sneaking around behind me, behind my back, watching me from behind. And I put the, and then they are behind me. I can tell you how many times I've done that.
I'm guilty.
My TikTok account.
I'm guilty of that too. It drives my wife crazy, Perry. You know, because we force our will on people without even realizing we do it. You know, it's like what drives her crazy is me telling her, like, I'll pick a movie out and I'll tell her, you're gonna love this movie. This movie's the greatest movie. You're gonna love this movie. I'm right there. I'm imposing my will on her and slanting her biasness towards the movie now, because now she's expecting some great movie and she may not even like it. You see. And this is the thing that we do every day by telling people what they're going to like and what they're going to do, because we want them to feel what we felt, right? So again, it's just understanding what we do and just being in control of ourselves, man. We are an out of control country, man. We're out of control. We are out of control. The rest of the world, Perry, is looking at us not as the greatest country in the world. They're looking at us like we're damn fools, man.
That's true. You know? That's true. That's the thing about that's the thing about the woke movement, if I will, the woke movement or the truth movement that me and you are undertaking. It's exposing America to the world for what it really is.
Like, wake up, people, for real.
This concludes this session of the Hustle's Corner in New York City. If you are a person that's incarcerated and you have books that you'd like to get out and you want to share your story, come share your story on the Hustle's Corner in New York City Tales from the Big Cities. If you are a person who has been wrongfully convicted of a crime that you did not commit and you want to share your story, come share your story on the Hustle's Corner in New York City Victims of the System series. If you are a person who has been self-reformed, active in the community, came out of a past nefarious life to a more positive one, and you want to share your story, come share your story on the Hustle's Corner in New York City Legends of the Hood series. If you are a Black business owner and you want to share your story of how you got your business off the ground and how you faced many challenges to succeed, come share your story on the Hustle's Corner New York City Black Business Movement series. If you are a musician or an artist or a vocalist or a rapper, hip hop artist, and you want to share your story about your career and how you have grown it into success, come share your story on the Hustle's Corner New York City On the Grind series. And if you are a woman who has been through traumatic times in her life only to overcome them, come share your story on the Hustle's Corner New York City Lipstick Stories series. And if you're enjoying the show, please help us grow. Show your love. Like, share, leave a comment, and most of all, subscribe. Thank you for joining us. Looking forward to seeing you again. This is Perry Eldell from the Hustle's Corner, New York City. Peace. Send them all out. Got a Navy man in my field, we target everybody, not everybody has a heavy